and chill. And the righteous hurry past, they don't hear the little ones crying, and the winter is coming on fast, ready to kill.
It's probably one of the most challenging productions the theater has done, and I feel like I say this every year. You know, for whatever the next big musical is that we're going to do. When we did Beauty and the Beast, it was a huge costume and technical thing in one of the biggest shows. Then we did Wizard of Oz. Then we did Hairspray. Now we're doing Les Mis. And I think the thing that for me keeps me going is that it's setting those challenges out there. This small little space that we're in is an incredible space for an audience-actor relationship, but it's got real limitations to it. The building's 30 feet wide, and if you can see behind me, the offstage is 3 feet. Now we have a lot of depth, but we don't have any fly space, we don't have a lot of other things. So when we look at doing big productions, I have to figure out how to scale that production into an intimate theater space. So I can't do big, huge spectacle on stage. Our shows are about character and story and relationship with the audience. We've talked about it, you know, it will be done, they open it up, and the crowd parts, and you're going to cross up here. As it opens up, you look back, and I need a vocalization from the people. As we looked at it, and I thought about it, I thought, you know, this is probably the biggest challenge I've had to do, and yet I think there's enough talent in the community, vocal talent, to pull this off, but it's going to be a real challenge for our acting pool to come and do it, because it's a huge cast. It'll be a challenge technically for us to do it. It'll be a challenge for me directing a show, because I can't just take what they did on Broadway and adapt it into a tiny little space. It has to work on its own merits. The overriding theme of the show is kind of about faith, and it's about these moments where who am I and what's God calling me to do, which is what drives Valjean with his life. So the images of church windows in the background, which will allow me to do light and to change location and keeping that theme central. So what are we seeing through the windows, through the church windows? And how can I create levels for Javert, who's standing above them in the chain gang, and yet he's got to be on a level to throw himself into the river off a bridge. So I've got to have the levels that are there. So as I look at this, I keep kind of imagining relationships of characters in it, but it all comes back to an actor who's about 10, 12 feet from an audience, and what are they doing that the audience is focused in on? And here's what the core is. Here's what the core thing that the audience is going to relate to in the show. Keep that in my focus, and that's what I envision. And I think audiences will be, the sound I've heard is amazing when the whole choral group, in fact, everybody in the group turns around and goes, "Did we do that? Man, that sounded great." You know, it gives you goosebumps to listen to that. So the sound is very important, and the storyline is important, and sometimes I think that gets lost in bigger productions. So I'm going to refocus on the story a little bit, and on that actor-audience relationship, and communicating that story through beautiful music.